Murder attempt survivors, what happened? My drunk, ex-husband came home in the middle of the night while I was sleeping. He was pissed off at me for some unknown reason and got on top of me in bed and strangled me to the point where he thought he had killed me. When I came to, he was sitting on the side of the bed crying. He had choked me so badly that I had broken blood vessels in my eyes. I never spent another night under the same roof as him, and we divorced soon after. I'm glad you made it out of there. Not me, but my mom. A man entered her house just before lunchtime and stabbed her and her maid multiple times. He also kept punching both of them while stabbing them. Eventually he got tired and left. My mom played dead, then when she was sure that they were alone, she checked on the maid to see if she was still alive. Both of them survived the attack, but the police never found the guy. The thing is, my mom knows the guy. See, she owns a flower shop, and had 2 people working for her. One of them is this nice gay guy, and that guy had a boyfriend. It was the boyfriend who attacked my mom, and my mom told me that he was high and was looking for money. It seemed like his boyfriend didn't want to give him money that day, so he decided to attack his BF's employer instead. Since then, my vibrant, outgoing mom became reclusive and she developed various health conditions. She's also always in a state of pain, which led her to become dependent on pain meds. The meds ruined her kidneys and liver, and now she's undergoing dialysis for it. I am so sorry, Frown. Thank you. It really saddens me that my mom isn't quite the same after what happened to her, but she's quite tough. She has her good days and bad days, but she tries to get through them. I was attacked in a friend's house by an ex-husband. He slit her throat and slashed my face with a box cutter before hitting me over the head with a plate, knocking me out temporarily. He then lit the place on fire with us in it. I managed to wake up and drag her outside, and a neighbor called the police ambulance. They caught him 2 days later trying to commit suicide in a Ramada Inn. We both lived through it, and now he is serving a life sentence. I'm happy to hear this. Much love for you, stay safe. It happened during my first year in uni. I lived with 3 roommates at my dorm. A few months into the first semester, one of my roommates had a mental breakdown and attempted to strangle me while I was asleep. I woke up to his hands around my throat, his knee on my chest, and a deranged look on his face. I tried pushing him off me, clawed at his face, etc., but to no avail. My eyes started to dim, my hands felt leaden, I was sure I was going to die. Fortunately, my other roommate wasn't asleep, he was laying under the covers browsing on his phone. The sounds from our struggle caught his attention, and after seeing what was happening, he pushed the attacker off me and knocked him to the ground. He then woke the other roommate, and together they restrained the attacker on his bed and called the university police. The police arrived around 15 minutes later, and after we told them what happened, they called the actual cops. My roommate was arrested and taken to the police station. There he had another breakdown and bit one of the cops. He was transferred to a psychiatric facility after that. He was also expelled from the university. Something similar happened to one of my old uni roommates. She got moved to our room after her suitmate had a breakdown and attacked her with a hot pan. She luckily grabbed a knife and backed into her own bedroom before locking the door and calling campus police. Was an insane story, but heard it both from her and our raw before she moved in. My ex was insanely abusive. Left me for dead once, and I overheard him on the phone talking to someone about what to do with the body. He had put my head through the car window and dragged me inside and threw me onto the bathroom floor. I woke up because I started drowning in my blood, face down. I managed to escape and call my mom. She got me a taxi to a hotel out of his area until I could get home the next day. She actually drove there to pick me up from another state because I had too many injuries to fly. Police didn't do much because I crossed state lines. This happened on the West Coast where he lived. I was originally from the South. Cops were very uncooperative. Kept saying they'd get back to me. Checked out his place. Found some blood, chalked it up to a domestic dispute. I got exhausted from the whole thing. A year later, he dated another girl. Cut her head off and dismembered her. Hess serving like 25 to life, I think. Edit, I changed some details about location because this was getting kinda big. Maybe too little too late, but oh well. He pointed the gun at my face, pulled the trigger, and it didn't fire. I could beat Usain Bolt in the next 10 seconds. Glad you're still around to tell the tale. I have a good friend with a similar story. He thinks the gun jammed or the safety was still on or something. He likes to say you've never seen a fat boy move so fast after that. Solo hiking, ran into 2 men who acted nice at first, then started following me on my trail. Things escalated. They beat me up pretty bad while trying to rape me. I fought like fury. I'm fit and used to do combat sports, so I was able to do quite a bit of damage right back. I think when they realized they themselves were taking too many hits, they cut their losses and fled. I have no doubt they would have killed me as well as raped me if I hadn't made it such an unholy battle for them to get me down. I was a mess, and still needed to hike back to civilization after that. I could write a ducking book about that return hike. Eventually I made it out. I don't talk about it, like ever. I guess Reddit is as good a spot as any to put it down. Ada, thanks for the awards and awesome comments, guys. Like I said, I never talk about this. And maybe I should. I was diagnosed with PTSD after, and in some ways, the battle still rages. But sharing it here has actually made me feel so much better, in ways I never would have expected. Much love to you all, and whatever you do, be safe doing it. And girls especially, take a self-defense course. You never know what might happen. I fought like fury, duck yeah. I'm very sorry this happened to you. This quote is inspirational AF. I have a daughter I'm gradually teaching self-defense to as she gets older. I'm going to borrow this line and tell her this story. I'm glad you made those bastards suffer. Dude. Thank you. This is the comment that finally makes me cry. Please do that. Teach her how to fight. Get her to get her friends to learn how to fight. Thank you for being a good parent, and valuing this as a life skill because it is. May you raise a brilliant little badass who never has to feel like prey. There was a girl in the village of my parents' vacation home who was known to have mental health issues. My family never judged her for it. Both my parents are teachers and used to deal with slow students that say some wicked things every now and then. When I was 2, my parents went on vacation and so did that girl's family. That girl was 12. Both families were having lunch together and my parents left the girl to play with me. When my sister, 9 at the time, went to look for me, I was being drowned in a water tank by said girl, who was just looking at my sister smiling and saying some weird things. My sister screamed and my parents and the girl's family went to the rescue in time to save me. I have no memory of this, so all I know is the story my family told me a few times. I haven't actually met this girl yet, neither have I ever talked to her family. Both families still go on vacation to the same village at the same time, but my parents cut ties with them. A while back I was at my friend's house when a guy came in through balcony glass door. He had climbed up to 2-story balcony, and proceeded to start yelling at her things like "Who is the motherfucker now bitch?" and I stood up to protect her. It was dark and I couldn't see the knife in his hands which he then stabbed me in the face with. Never met the guy or even knew his name. After I got out of hospital and started to try and figure out what was that all about, our mutual friend told me that he had asked the perp the same question and his answer was I was going to murder her but didn't know Sublate was there also. I'm 23 and that was my second time getting stabbed and altogether I have 5 stabbing scars. WTF, welcome to Finland. I didn't know Finland was so stabby. From reading Scandinavia and the World, I've learned that Finland is extremely stabby. Satcomic.com. My stepfather decided he'd had enough one night and tried to murder my family. My brother and I survived. My mother did not. Edited, wow, I didn't expect all the upvotes. Thank you. So to fill in some blanks, I don't think there was any warning about what was going to happen. The night it happened he shot my mother, came upstairs, shot me, shot at my brother and then shot himself. He survived until he reached the hospital but he didn't make it despite their attempts. So no, he wasn't punished or locked up. I guess I'm glad, or I might have always been looking over my shoulder in case he got released. Yes, it was on the news. Which was horrible because everyone at my school knew all about it. When I was just trying to live with some kind of normalcy, it was out there for all to know. I just wanted to be treated the same so I could pretend like things were the same. I found out a few details years later and just when I thought I had kind of accepted it all, it turns out my mom was getting ready to leave him. Not only might she have been spared what happened to her, but she wanted to get back together with my dad. So that's pretty much the story. Hope I satisfied your curiosity. And thanks for all the thoughts and hugs. X. I have so many questions. They'll just say I'm very sorry for your loss. It was a long time ago now so it doesn't hurt as much, but I still miss her all the time.